everyone, it's Mrs. Goodwin. Welcome to our first virtual assembly in this very strange, unprecedented time. Very used to doing assemblies standing in a hall with 350 people looking back. It's very strange doing it at home with nobody. But I do hope that it's another effective way of keeping in touch with you all and offering some advice during this time. So we wanted to let you know about some of the ways that we're trying to stay in touch with you whilst you're off school. One of the ways is through the King John Instagram account. So if you haven't already followed it, it's a great way of just some little snippets of information about what we've been doing. And one of the things that you may have seen is that during the Easter holidays, we had a small group of students in and a small group of staff in who worked really hard to produce over 100 visors. I think that number's gone up since Monday as well. But we made loads of visors, and we also donated PPE to Little Havens, to a care home in Thundersea, and to local hospitals. And we've had other requests coming in. So we wanted to let you know about this and say that we're really proud of everybody, staff and students, who have given their time and their expertise to get this done and to support our local community. So do follow the Instagram account for other little snippets of information that will come out over the next few weeks. And obviously it's an ongoing tool that we'll use once you're back at school with us. We also are still producing our weekly newsletters and some bigger newsletters as well. There was one in April. So if you haven't used this section of the website before, we do email this out, but do check out, hopefully you can see on the screen that you just go onto the website and go to news and events, and there's lots of different ways that you can keep in touch with us there as well and see some of the things that we have been doing and putting together from before the school closures as well, some of the things in the April newsletter, but definitely during this time as well. So we are still here for you, as I've said. So we wanted to put together some advice of things that we've come across over this time and make sure that we've got a way of getting this information to you effectively. So hope this, some of this may double up some of the stuff you've seen before, but I do urge you to stick with it because something in here you may not have seen before, or it might just be the right time to hear that advice. And we hope that, something in here, provides some support for you during this time. So it's really important that we talk about mental health, and mental health is different for everybody. It looks different for everybody, and in a time of uncertainty, we want to make sure that we are staying balanced, because we know that you're going to have days where you might feel bored, you might feel a bit anxious, you might feel angry, you might feel fed up, and that's going to be different for different people depending on different circumstances. But one of the things you can control is your day-to-day activity. So we have suggested that you do stick to a timetable, keeping to a regular wake-up and a regular bedtime. I'm going to show you some examples of timetables. If you want to have a look at this further, I will show you where you can download them. So there's different ways you can do this. You can have a very clear routine with every single break identified, with every single moment of the day planned if you really want to. You might be planning when you're going to help your family, so it might be that you actually aim to do something like cook dinner or tidy or clean something as well, and you could obviously build that into your day. You might prefer a weekly schedule just so you can think, when am I going to cover all of my subjects? You might decide on what things to do in advance, or you might just fill this in on the day. But you could also schedule things like daily exercise as part of this. So I will reference Joe Wick's Body Coach YouTube account, which is a really good visual way of doing exercise. And because it's at the same time every day, it is again something you can schedule in, and we know that schedule is really important for mental health. Another way to look at it is what must be done. So it might be that you think, right, I've got to get an assignment back by a certain date, so that's what I must do today. Or it could be something around the house that parents have asked you to do something that day. So again, you might want to prioritise what you must do today, and then what you are hopefully going to get done. And anything you don't get done, you can schedule for the following day. You might also be somebody that likes to actually plan your food out. I know when I started in lockdown, I was snacking all the time, and I had to remember that if I was at school, I wouldn't be eating like that. So I went back to kind of breakfast, lunch and dinner, and that actually really helped me. You can also plan creative time. You might have used this time to do something new and creative. So do build that in as well, because that's so important. It's not just about academic study. So if you're unsure where to access material, this it might look slightly different on your student portal, but this is what I can see when I log on. But you've definitely all got a student wellbeing area and a home learning area. So not the homework area, the home learning area on the right. So the student wellbeing area is where you can download a copy of this presentation. It will look slightly different. It's under PSHE and it's the school closure PSHE advice, and it will have copies of the timetables I've just shown you. Under the home learning section is where you should already be really familiar with. That's where all your subjects have listed all their work. So this is just an example on the left hand side of what you should be able to see under each subject. You're on to fortnight 2 now, so hopefully you worked through fortnight 1 before the Easter holidays and you're now on fortnight 2. You can see this example in English that in the first fortnight there were individual PowerPoints uploaded, and I've seen examples of individual worksheets uploaded, and there'll be several on there to work your way through. And then other times there will be booklets for you to work through, like there is for this English example for fortnight 2. So just open those out, have a little explore, and then work out what you're going to do in what order. And again, using your timetable might be a really good way of actually making that manageable for you, breaking it down into chunks that works for you, because obviously lots of students are accessing these resources in your year groups. We want to make sure that everybody can access it, but you all learn individually. So do break it down yourself as well to think, what am I going to do first and what's going to be manageable for me? Now, you might also have had emails from your staff for a program called Microsoft Teams. Now, I'm not going to go through exactly how to use that, but I just wanted to show you what I can see on my screen and how I'm using it. So if you're in one of my classes, you will have been added to one of my teams. So this is one for my Year 9 class. Hope they're all doing okay. And you'll notice that I've added an assignment. Now that assignment is not anything different to what's just been assigned on fortnight 2. I've just added it as an assignment on Microsoft Teams so that they can send work back to me. So if you haven't had anything come through about Teams, you can download that as an app, you can get to it on your browser. So play around with how to access Microsoft Teams, and that's a way of submitting work to your teachers. But the main place to find all the work remains the VLE. So do keep checking in with that and working through it. Teams is just used to send work back to your staff. So obviously another aspect, we've talked about mental health in terms of timetable and scheduling your day. Please don't forget that your physical health is obviously at this time so important. Exercise is one thing, so obviously we've already previously suggested the Joe Wicks YouTube channel, and a regular bedtime again is also really important. It is important you get your sleep and your rest, and that you keep your body on a regular timetable. Obviously, the most important thing at the moment, we know is the coronavirus, and so you should still be washing your hands regularly to help everyone in your household, particularly if people are going back and forth to get shopping or if you've gone out on any daily exercise. So do make sure that you know how to wash your hands effectively, and do use a moisturiser if your hands are getting dry or sore. You might find this has been a bit better since you've been at home. But the main thing is that you still need to stay safe and observe social distancing, because that's still the government guidelines. I saw this on a community page the other day, and it wasn't necessarily anything to do with King John students, but somebody was concerned about a group of students or young people from the local area at one of the local parks, and somebody posted this, which I thought was quite a good way of looking at it, that actually not everybody knows if they've got coronavirus symptoms, and if you choose to meet up, you might think you're only with healthy people, but of course we don't know that for certain, and we can't know that because not everyone's tested, and we never know who we're going to take it back to or how it might affect us. So the guidelines remains the same, that you must stay home and only mix with your household. This isn't the time to hang out with friends as much as the weather's lovely. It is really important that we stay home. Obviously, I hope that if you've got some outside space, that you can make use of that, or that you're using your daily exercise time effectively. But it is really important that we all take responsibility. We are a community, and we must keep each other safe by staying home. So consider meaningful ways to connect with your friends online. But of course, it's really important that you stay safe. There was lots going around about the House Party app and whether that was safe and whether people could come into your locked rooms. Just keep up to date with what's going on in the news with things like that. But on that note, it's really important that we do remember there's lots of fake news going around at times as well. So just be really savvy with what you're doing. Remember to always avoid live streaming, because you've got to keep yourself safe. We don't want people knowing where you are at a current time. So social media is still a concern, whether we are at school or not at school. I've seen lots of posts from things like my cousin's boyfriend's best mate, who works in the NHS. Unless it's come out through the official channels like the BBC News daily update they do, do be really wary of advice on social media, because lots of it has already been proven false. They can't be trusted necessarily. So if they're not verified, they might be old or from another place. I saw another one that someone thought was the Italian hospital being overrun and everyone was out being treated in a car park. And of course it was actually a picture from an earthquake evacuation, and somebody had posted that and created fake news regarding it. It just creates panic, so do avoid it, because it can just be overwhelming. So do stay safe with social media, even if it looks really legit. If it's not on an official site, I would ignore it. So obviously during this time, it is important to know that we are still here for you as a school. We're all working from home. Obviously lots of us go in each day as well to support students of key workers, essential workers that are in school, but we are available, so you can contact us through Edulink. Particularly if you have any worries and concerns, obviously you've got one of your safeguarding leads who you can contact, and obviously I've put their details up on the screen again for you, and you can contact them via Edulink or via the school emails, and they can give you further advice and resources. The other thing is that obviously there are plenty of fantastic support sites out there, and I've just drawn your attention to 4 key ones, and we're going to put links to those in the weekly bulletin for you as well. So Childline is one. If you have any concerns to report, Childline is a fantastic resource. You can speak to them on the phone, or you can click on the website, and I've left the QR codes for you up as well, so you can scan those from your phone if you want those websites to load as well. There's also the UK Safer Internet Centre. Now that's really good for reporting and removing harmful content online. So you can see the little infogram there that says obviously if you've had any threats online, if anyone's worrying you in terms of impersonating you or bullying and harassment, if you have seen content that you don't think is appropriate, if you've had any kind of online abuse or anything that worries you, you can report it on there, and they can actually remove harmful content. So if you do come across something you're worried about, obviously do let one of your safeguarding leads know, but you can report it as well, or your parents can. CEOP is another really good one if you have had any kind of online abuse and you're worried about something that's happened online. So again, do make use of those if you need to. And the Mix is a really great support site if you are having any worries or concerns. So I've left this slide up for quite a while, just to make sure that you can scan the QR codes if you need to. There are tons of videos and other support sites on the PSHE guidance I mentioned earlier. So that was in the student wellbeing area of the VLE. So if any of this has kind of made you think and you feel like you might need some further support, do check out those resources, and you should work through those as if like a normal PSHE lesson. Do have a look at those. I hope that you found this informative. It's been really nice to check in with you and to put together all the advice that I know that your teachers, your staff want you to know about, and we want to ensure that you know how to keep yourself safe and that you know that we're still here for you and able to support you if you need us. So thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to putting some more online assemblies up for you, and also some of your teachers may well be putting content on the VLE to support you as well. So just watch this space, do keep checking in. If you've got any ideas or you'd like to request any particular content or for us to cover a certain topic, do let us know, because we will have Thought for the Weeks as normal coming out as well. It's been wonderful to try out this new method of communication. Any feedback gratefully received, and take care everybody. Stay safe.